Okay, welcome to our Thursday, January 3rd organizational meeting and work session. If you would please now stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, and be seated. Patty, roll call.
Councilman William G. Faulkner.
Here.
Councilman Richard G. Glinchey.
Present.
Councilman Anthony J. Sirico.
Here.
Councilman Thomas A. Garrity Jr.
Here.
Supervisor Rick Morrissey.
Present. So I thought it was very apt to start the new year off with talking about volunteerism and how the town of Somers, we could not get by without our volunteers. This goes from our boards to our community, to our open space and Somers Land Trust folks who are out there clearing trails. And I especially want to make note of the efforts that the Somers Lions do for this town. Not only through assisting people in need, doing community services, but also making our holidays brighter. And I would like to focus on just that point. So there is a lion who really, in my mind, exemplifies what being a volunteer in your community is. And that individual is Pete Milanick. So Pete, if you would come up. Well, you're going to stand out front
Whatever you want.
in a minute.
It's your day.
But I would like to read a proclamation that the town board and I were going to present to you. And it reads, whereas a town is only as great as its residents that compromise it. Residents whose efforts and contribution and love of life continually contribute to enhance, beautify, and preserve the community. And whereas Pete Milanick Jr., with his wife Mary Ann, have lived in Somers for the past 51 years, have 2 children, Mary Ann and Peter, and 3 grandchildren, Lainey, Alex, and Peter. And whereas Peter has been a member of the Somers Lions Club for many years, and he has volunteered countless hours on several decades to beautify, decorate the town Christmas tree with lights with the help of his bucket truck. Throughout the Business Historic District, he shows his support and dedication to our country by displaying and hanging United States flags along the roadways and replacing them during the holidays with season greetings flags to warmly welcome visitors and residents to our town. Whereas Pete has also put the Elephant Hotel in the spotlight by installing lights to shine on the facade, drawing attention to the beautiful brick historic building. He also assists St. Joseph's Church by decorating their Christmas tree and lights and hanging religious flags along the roadway near the church. So whereas the town of Somers wishes to recognize Pete and praise him for his passion and exceptional service to the town. Now, therefore, be it resolved that on behalf of the entire town board of the town of Somers, I, Rick Morrissey, Supervisor, do hereby officially express our gratitude, thanks, and appreciation to Peter J. Milanick Jr. for his years of service and dedicate Friday, January 4th, 2019, as Peter Milanick Jr. Day in the town of Somers.
All right, there you go.
You didn't have to write the whole book on it.
We got the whole book.
You get in the middle. Where's your truck? There you go. I'll take one more.
Otherwise, it's just a big group.
Just this way once, just this way once, yeah. Yay. Thank you.
I don't see Jan here. So, I'll give it to her before she leaves. So Pete, I know you, I'll give you an opportunity to say a few words.
Yeah.
Into the mic.
Pete, you need the mic. The whole world's watching. No pressure.
Wait, hold on.
Gotta go to
At least 20 people are watching
51 years in this town.
Oh, except that they can't hear it
at home.
at home. All your fans,
This
they need
is-
to hear you. There you go.
This being taped, you know, we're,
Twitter.
51 years in this town. It's been a pleasure. It's been an honor to do the American flags for the veterans. It's been a pleasure doing the Christmas tree. It's been an honor to be in the Lions' greatest club in the world, the Lions Club. And I can see who my friends are. I raised two beautiful kids here in this town, and there's no better town in the world to live in. One of the best. Thank you very much for coming, and I hope I can continue doing some services. I don't want to retire completely. Thank you.
and we won't let you.
Yeah, we won't let you.
And I gotta say one more thing, please. There's a gentleman in Croton, Mayapack Falls Fire Department. 55 years we know each other, from Con Edison, and without him, I could never do what I did. I thought maybe he'd be here, maybe he'd get the word, but I'm sure the town supervisor will write a little letter for him.
We'll
I
get
couldn't,
him.
I
we'll
couldn't
get
do
him in there,
without.
too.
I couldn't do without Stanley Zalesny. He was the best.
Stan. Thanks. Thank you, Pete.
Thank you, Pete.
Yeah, the town board gets tired of me talking about volunteerism, but, you know, you truly epitomize what a true volunteer is. And the rest of the Lions sitting out there in your chairs also. You know, you've given a lot back to this community, and it is very, very much appreciated. So thank you.
Thank you.
Although I do not see her in attendance, I will go on record
Yeah.
by, I have a certificate of appreciation to Jan Corning. She has recently, is moving to upstate New York. She was on our planning board since 2015, and I wanted to recognize, once again, her volunteerism and her excellent work on our planning board. The town is a much better place because of her efforts on that board. So here is her certificate of appreciation, and I will be sure to get that to her.
Thank you, Jan.
All
Now we
right.
get into the real exciting organizational.
Oh,
meeting.
yeah.
So I don't know if any of you
Yeah,
want to
you
stick
got
around
anything to
or
do.
not.
Right, we can take a,
This is the time to go.
we will take a 2-minute break.
This is it.
Okay, Somers, we're back from our presentations. And we're to proceed with our organizational meeting. I'll make a motion to open public comment.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Anyone here for public comment? Pete Milonic Jr. is a great guy.
There you go.
Second.
You trying to get him out?
You like? Thank you for the tree.
Yeah, thanks for all you do. Okay, seeing and,
That's right. It's your day. We're just trying to use it.
there you go. So is there anyone else here for public comment? Seeing and hearing none, I'll make a motion to close public comment.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Okay, we're on number 3, procedures, under our organizational meeting agenda.
Rick, can I just for 1 second, I want to explain. For the people at home, what we're doing is we're doing our organizational meeting, which we basically do the same thing the first meeting of every year, where we go through the procedures and sort of the framework of what we do here. So if it sounds a little bit different than some of our normal meetings, that's why. But we have a normal meeting right after we finish this.
Yeah, this is required by law that
Yep.
we set up all these procedures.
Right, so I'll be reading a bit of the agenda to you all. So set the schedule for town board meetings. B is we're going to adopt the town board meeting format, pledge of allegiance, roll call, public comment, approval of minutes, reports from department heads, town clerk, business of the board with Parks and Recreation first, then the town board, then the alphabetical listing of departments and/or topics, including communications and resolutions, board comment, and adjournment. C is the schedule of audit and claims. D is submission of agenda items. Items for regular monthly meeting agendas shall be received in the supervisor's office no later than 12 noon of the Thursday in the week preceding the town board work session and regular meetings. The agenda shall be posted on the community bulletin board in the townhouse and on the website the Monday before the meeting, with copies available to the
Excuse
public.
me, that needs to say town clerk's bulletin board,
Town clerk's bulletin board,
not community.
not community.
Right.
And it also needs to say with copies available to the public.
To the,
Next page.
To the public, there you go.
really? I don't see.
I don't have that.
It says,
Yeah,
On the top,
Oh, public, yes,
there you go.
it's there.
okay.
But we will make that a change to town clerk's bulletin board.
Just a question somebody asked me.
Mhm.
To whom is this aimed? Is that employees? The person asked me, said, can I put a agenda item into the supervisor's office by 12 o'clock on Thursday? My answer is, well, the supervisor can decide whether to put it on, but this is really for anyone requesting it, but particularly people who work for the town who want to get an item on the agenda for the town board to act on.
Right, well, anyone in the community, though,
Is
as
open
we
for
started our
public
meeting,
comment.
can come in and put themselves on the agenda during public comment.
Right.
So that's how we handle those things. So that would be my answer back
Yeah,
to.
I just said I'd ask the question.
Yeah, okay. All right, so that was submission of agendas. Vacancy announcements. F is designation of an official newspaper. We're designating the Somers Record, the official town newspaper for the year 2019, with others to be used whenever designated by the town board. I'd like to make a motion to adopt procedures 3A through F.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So moved. Number 4, financial. A is designating all the depositories. Number 2 is Signature Bank. Number 3 is the New York Cooperative Liquid Assets Security System, which is N-Class Investment Fund. B, authorize Rick Morrissey as the supervisor, as the signer on the above accounts, Tom Garrity as the deputy supervisor as alternate signer, with the exception of asterisk accounts that are assigned by appropriate department heads only. We have C is certificates of deposit. D, deposit of funds, authorize supervisor to deposit monies of the general fund, highway fund, and all of the funds in J.P. Morgan Chase as deemed appropriate. town auditors. We named O'Connor Davies, 500 Mamaroneck Avenue, Suite 301, Harrison, as the town auditors for the year 2019. F is reimbursements. G, procurement policy. That has not changed. H, investment policy. I, review the policy of the capitalization of property, plant, and equipment, formerly fixed asset policy, to comply with GASB 34 and other state federal laws. J is the state and county contract purchasing procedures. K, set police reimbursement rates. L, sets SEQR reimbursement rates. M, authorize the water district superintendent to request proposals for equipment, rental rates for local contractors. I'd like to make a motion to adopt financial for A through M.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Okay, we're up to highway. A is the New York State contracts, authorized superintendent of highway, where practicable and cost-effective to purchase items under the New York State and Westchester County contracts and according to the established procurement policy of the town board. B, equipment rate rental rates. C, spending limits. D, agreement to spend highway funds. Approved and execute agreement for the expenditure of highway monies for the year 2019. Set highway pay scales. Announce Deputy Superintendent of Highways as Nicholas DeVito as the Deputy Supervisor of Highways. Announce the Secretary to the Superintendent of Highways is Kathy DeSisto. I'd like a motion to adopt Highway 5A through G.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Okay, appointments, number 6. Town Clerk Patty Calba announces the appointment of Linda Veteram as Deputy Town Clerk to serve at the pleasure of the Town Clerk. Appoint Town Clerk Patricia Calba, Election Liaison, at $3,000 per annual for a term of January 15th, 2019 to January 14th, 2020. Appoint Deputy Town Clerk Election Liaison at $1,000 per annum for a term January 15th, 2019 to January 14th, 2020. Appoint Patricia Calba, Register of Vital Statistics, for the term January 1, 2019 to December 31st, 2019, to be compensated as revenues occur. E, appoint Linda Verderam, Deputy Register of Vital Statistics, for the term January 1, 2019 to December 31st, 2019, without compensation. Supervisor announces the designation of Tom Garrity as a Deputy Supervisor to serve at the pleasure of the Supervisor.
Does that mean that at any time you can end that?
No, because I have
This
a
is-
jacket that says it. I'd have to get rid of my jacket. I don't want to do that.
Well, in that case, we don't want to expend anything.
No,
Keep it for the
there
year.
you go.
It does say at the pleasure, yes.
But I am a pleasure, so we're all good.
Yeah, just ask him, he'll tell you. Tax receiver Michelle McCurney announces the appointment of Christine Rossiter as the deputy tax receiver to serve at the pleasure of the tax receiver. H, board chairman. Patty, do I need to move the appointment separate from the,
Those first
G?
series of appointments are announcements.
Yeah, they're already done, right? Oh, no.
oh, no, I got it.
Yeah, we don't have a say.
I'm gonna move all the appointments at once. Okay, so we're up to H. Board chairman. Appoint John Alfonsetti as chairman of the Architectural Advisory Board, Architectural Review it's Architectural Review Approval Board. Make that correction. happened to live through that process, to a term ending December 31st, 2019. Appoint Kevin Westerman as chairman of the Parks and Recreation Board to a term ending December 31st, 2019. Appoint John Curry as chairman of the Planning Board to a term ending December 31st, 2019. Appoint Victor Canistra as chairman of the Zoning Board of Appeals to a term ending December 31st, 2019. Appoint Richard Albach as chairman of the Affordable Housing Board to a term ending December 31st, 2019. Fire Prevention Bureau, one-year appointment to Thomas J. Tuma Jr., Rob Russell, and Al Vigliotti until December 31st, 2019. Committee chairs. Appoint Michael Barnhart as chairman of the Open Space Committee to a term ending December 31st, 2019. Appoint Don Bleasdale as chairman of the Somers Energy Environment Committee to a term ending December 31st, 2019. Appoint Kathy Cucciarella as chairperson of the Partners in Prevention Committee to a term ending December 31st, 2019. J, supervisor.
Do we have to vote on those or no?
We're gonna vote on everything.
Okay, all the rest?
Right.
Okay. Well, these
We'll-
are,
We'll vote on
I don't,
6,
we don't have any of
A
these.
through J. Supervisor. The supervisor announces the appointment of Doris Jane Smith as the town historian. Supervisor appoints Kim DeLucia to the confidential executive assistant to the supervisor. Supervisor's annual report to the controller. Authorize town officials to attend the Association of Town meetings. And I would like to make a motion to adopt appointments 6, A through J.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Appointment and contracts. A, accept the consulting services proposal from Frederick P. Clark Associates as outlined in the proposal from David H. Stallman, dated January 3rd, 2018, and authorize supervisor to execute same for the calendar year 2019. Legal counsel, accept legal services for 2019 from Stephen Baroni, Riley, and Lewis. Authorize supervisor to execute proposal from Ernest Stolzer, Esquire, as special labor counsel to the town of Somers for calendar year 2019. Renewal of a contract for Saret Dim, Director of Planning, beginning January 1, 2019 through December 31st, 2019. Accept proposal for engineering support from Woodward and Curran for 2019 through January, or to take effect, dated January 3rd, 2018. Accept proposal for engineering support.
Maybe just
Okay.
want to reword that?
Yeah, I think that's December 3rd,
Yeah,
but I'll double check that. But needless to say, Woodward and Curran will be our consulting engineer for 2019.
Yep.
Authorized to execute proposal from Capital Markets Advisors dated December 26, 2017 as board advisors for January, that should be 18, for January 1, 2019 to December, with an option to renew for one additional year for 2020.
We didn't get new letters. from
We
some
did
of
not.
them.
Okay,
That's why the dates are a little,
Okay.
That's fair?
But again, in either case, Capital Market Advisors is gonna be our bond advisor.
Correct. Authorize execute proposal from RDM Computer Consultants dated November 15th, 2018, as computer consultants for January 1, 2019 through December 31st, 2019. Authorize to execute proposal from Euro Video Productions LLC dated October 16th, 2020 for video production services for January 1, 2019 to December 31st, 2019. Okay, there's a listing of board liaisons.
I was just wondering, was Roland hedging his bet as to whether or not
Tonight?
he's gonna be,
Yeah,
I got a letter from him.
yeah, see, yeah,
We got one from him.
we got a letter.
Okay.
So
sure.
the board liaisons have not changed from 2018. Should you want to change, augment them, you can contact my office. And then,
Actually, I didn't see the latest one. I just want to make sure was
There was a revised
to
one.
risk management, we would want to add Chris Hanley.
You took off Ephraim, right?
We took off Ephraim, yeah, that's why I was looking. But Chris Hanley is he's one of the representatives we have on there as well.
okay. I will dig that out right now, but I will say add Chris Hanley to that.
No, he's good.
Well, no, this is town board liaisons.
Well, we always had,
Well, for some
well, but the
reason,
risk committee is different because it's not a liaison, because Bob's on there too. It's just the risk committee. We always had,
you're the liaison.
but we always had Bill,
And you seem to have Ephraim and Bob.
we always had Bill Kehoe on there also.
Yeah, but you're
In the
the
past.
liaison to that
Right.
risk management group.
Right.
So,
Although we
and
don't
that's,
even
and that's how it's listed.
Okay, but we've always had him on in the past. When Bill Kehoe was here, not Bob, Bill Kehoe, when he was a member, we had him on it. But that's okay, it doesn't matter to me. Chris will still come.
So it's not members, oh,
No,
wait.
well, this is the only one where we have Bob.
Yeah, that's always a little bit different,
We
because
had Ephraim there.
I'm not considered really the liaison, I'm considered a member of it.
Okay.
Supervisor's appointment.
Okay, it's fine with me. I'm just, how it used to be and is, doesn't matter to me.
No,
Right, you're a
let's
me-
add Chris Hanley, he's been
Yeah,
very good
you're
on
a,
that board.
yeah, he's a member.
Capacity type thing.
Not like an appointment.
I think he is.
Okay, and then.
How often does that meet, Tom?
What's that?
How often does that?
As needed.
Oh.
But we're trying to do it, we're doing it a bit more often now, working with our insurance carriers who've been doing a fantastic job. And I will say Chris Hanley has a very deep background in
Right,
insurance.
right, I remember when
He's
we
been
interviewed him.
He's been a great part of the committee. So we met like a month ago, and so we'll average every couple of months.
Quarterly or?
At least quarterly.
At least quarterly.
At least
At least
quarterly.
yeah.
Okay,
We
okay.
try to look at our experience levels to see if then we need to have the insurance companies come in and maybe do training in certain areas
Oh.
and or things of that nature. And it's worked out. I've been on it for
As long as,
like
Been
12
for
years,
Right.
and it's working very well.
okay. I mean, it's increasingly important.
Yeah.
Oh, it is.
And, as things change in the world.
And Bob Kehoe has been great, and he does the yeoman's work up there. I mean, he's the one who, whenever we have to do something, hey,
Yeah.
Bob, you do that. So.
So he pulls it together. I told him he didn't have to be here tonight. but
Otherwise, we would've
Maybe
given
he
him
should have been
something.
here to hear that.
Yeah, so, but no,
But he
but
thought we'd give him something to do if he came, so.
it's a good committee, and I think we've been getting a lot done.
Oh, that's great.
Okay. And then J, appoint Barbara J. Lloyd, Service Officer, for the term January 1, 2019 to December 31st, 2019, to serve without compensation. So I will make a motion to adopt appointments and contracts, number 7, A through J.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So moved. Which brings us to number 8, salaries and standard workday. Resolution setting salaries and longevity payments where applicable of the town officials and employees for the year commencing January 1, 2019. Acknowledge regulation which defines the process of reporting work activities for elected and appointed officials. So I will make a motion
You're right.
to adopt salaries and standard workday.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. And with that, I will make a motion to close our organizational meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So moved.
Don't go anywhere, Somers. We
There's
got a whole nother meeting to go.
more
through.
excitement to come.
Yeah. It's like watching bread rise.
Okay, motion to open the Somers Town Board work session
Second.
of Thursday, January 3rd,
Second.
2019. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So moved.
Say the pledge again.
Work session.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, we don't say it.
Okay, I'll make a motion to open public comment.
Second.
All in favor? Anyone here for public comment?
Did anybody walk in while we were not?
The line forms over here. Seeing or hearing no one, I'll make a motion to close public comment.
Second.
So moved. Okay, under town board. Number one, authorize the supervisor to execute the following for the Preservation League of New York, City of New York, Elephant Hotel Building Condition Survey, Technical Assistant Grant. So this is a good thing.
What's going to be the scope of the work?
Yeah, they're gonna do a survey of the building, and which puts us in line for future
Grants.
grants for the building. So,
But these would not be involved, energy.
no,
These would be grants that would preserve what is historic here, I'm guessing?
yep. Well, we'll find out from Stephen Tilley, architect.
Okay.
It's similar to a few years ago, like when we did the brick repoint thing.
Right, I remember that.
And the windows.
And the windows, and I think they painted
But they
the,
had to do they had to do a conditions report and then apply for grants for that.
okay.
So this is similar to that.
Yeah, it's a
Gotcha.
stepping stone. Okay, so we will move that to the consensus agenda.
Because we do have a proposal out for a grant from New York State to reduce our cost for energy consumption, as well as a possible work by Johnson Controls to find energy savings. So I'm just, that's why I asked the question. So we have two things going on at basically the same time. They're good.
Yeah, one
One to
is,
preserve and the other to save money.
right, the preservation is the infrastructure, bricks, the walls,
Right,
the,
right.
what have you, windows.
Gotcha.
Okay, so number two on the work session, authorize the following per December 20th, 2018 memo from Steve Ralston, Superintendent of Parks and Recreation. So set a fee schedule for 2019 program and services, permission to include the day camp trip as a prepay voucher, supervisor to execute the Northeast Westchester Special Recreation Interagency Agreement for 2019 program year. And that will move to consensus agenda. Number three is request permission to accept the proposal and request the supervisor to execute the contract with Sports Tech Acrylics Corp. in the amount of $19,500 for the repair and resurfacing of the Reese Park basketball courts to be paid from the recreation fee account per December 19th, 2018 memo from Steve Ralston, Superintendent of Parks and Recreation.
Just a quick question on that. We did those.
We did.
And then it just,
We did.
recently though, 5 years maybe?
It was a couple years ago. It was a change in, a redoing of the entire surface, moving some of the baskets and where they were located, some new stanchions and backboards. This would be, as I understand it, just the resurfacing of the court without any changes to the actual configuration of it. I guess being worn down just by use and time.
Well, does get very heavily used,
Yeah, good.
and which is why it's there.
Okay.
So that'll go over to the consensus agenda as well. Okay, request permission to extend the concession contract RFP deadline to January 25th, 2019, per December 21st, 2018 memo from Steve Ralston, Superintendent of Parks and Recreation. We'll move that to consensus as well.
If anyone would like to bid on running the concession stand at Reese Park, these contracts do run multi-year, and it is open now, so if anybody has a kitchen they're not using and would think that they would like to run a concession stand at Reese Park, or, that's what this is about.
Yeah, it's
Although
a-
we do provide a kitchen.
No, yes, I was only kidding, yes, it's a very good kitchen, yes, I should make that clear, you're right.
And how many years was
rather
it?
new.
Was it a 3-year deal last time?
I think it was two. I think it was 2 and a renewal year. I think was it, or 3
Alright,
years
so-
altogether. That the same company has has run it. And you know, the thing about that is that people come in, of course, they want to make money on it. And we as the town, it's not about making money. We want to provide the best service to the people in town with the best quality food at the times that they want them. The people who gain the right to run the concession, obviously they want to make money at it. And so finding that balancing point between the two to making sure they make money and that it's quality service, that's why there are proposals, and that's why there will be negotiations about those proposals.
So, yeah, anyone have any interest, please contact us.
Yeah.
Okay. Personnel, vacancies on our Affordable Housing Board, Parks and Rec, Partners in Prevention, and terms expiring on the Library, Planning and Zoning Board. Once again, those may be reappointments. So the theme, I guess, of tonight's meeting is volunteerism.
I think the town runs on it.
You know, I was thinking about that. Yeah, we really do. We really do. Authorize the reappointment of Eugene
It's golden.
Goldenberg
There should be an L in there.
Yeah.
to the Somers Planning Board to a 7-year term ending December 31st, 2025. Motion to reappoint Mr. Goldenberg.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. And thanks, Gene, for all your service and continued service. Acknowledge the resignation of Jason Crawford as a member of the Somers Energy Environment Committee effective December 12th, 2018. Now, I don't like to lose volunteers of these.
I tell you, he is as well. Both of these resignations we have here, these are, great, really effective, valuable people. And Jason's knowledge on some issues was really virtually encyclopedic. So, just as losing Ms. Corning is a great loss, so is Mr. Crawford, who is also moving.
Okay, well, thank you for your service, Jason, and good luck to you in your future. And then acknowledge the resignation of Jan Corning as a member of the Somers Planning Board effective December 13th, 2018.
Sadly.
And Jan, best of luck in the future in your new career in upstate New York. And once again, here's our certificate of appreciation.
Make sure you
Come
stop by
by,
the townhouse before
pick
you
it
leave.
up.
I will have to personally deliver that to you, wherever you may be. And it would be my pleasure. Okay, our proposed consensus agenda authorized to return the following bonds per memo from Steve Wolfel dated December 12th. $500 erosion control bond to Boniello Land and Realty Ltd. And a $500 erosion control bond to James White. Authorized to return the following bond per December 21st memo from Thomas Severini, Superintendent of Highways, $91 street opening bond to Paul Weisenberger. Okay,
Big bond there.
so that brings us to the end of our agenda items. I have a few announcements here.
Do we vote on the?
No,
Don't vote on anything. It's a work session.
no, we're moving things to the consensus
Yeah,
agenda.
that's on the consensus agenda, right?
Okay,
Unless you want to remove it from the consensus. I mean, you can.
so the Town of Somers Blood Drive is Tuesday, January 8th, 2019, from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. right here in the townhouse. 335 Route 202. So,
The date on that one more time, I'm sorry.
That's January 8th, this coming Tuesday, 2 to 8 p.m. And Somers has been very generous in the past. We keep breaking our records, so let's keep up that donation pace. The Somers Lions Club is having a health expo and blood drive Saturday, January 12th. So if you can't make the January 8th townhouse one, you can get yourself over to Somers High School, 120 Primrose in Lincolndale, for the Somers Lions Club Health Expo and Blood Drive, and that'll be run from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. and there'll be exhibitors there until 2 p.m. And these exhibitors will have health products, and it's community people coming in and talking to you about health matters.
That's January 12th, right?
January 12th, Saturday from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., Somers High School.
How often could somebody donate blood? Is there?
8 weeks, I believe.
Oh,
it
8
is.
weeks?
Yeah.
That's all?
So, yeah,
But 4 days would not be.
no, I
can't
don't
do
think
both.
so. No.
You can.
I guess so.
You might need help
your
out
blood.
in your car.
Yeah,
Get an extra glass of orange juice on the way out.
there you go.
Give you 2 cookies.
So the Town of Somers Emergency Preparedness and Fire Safety presentation is going to be held in conjunction with the American Red Cross, Saturday, January 19th, at 10 a.m. at the Heritage Room at the Activity Center of Heritage Hills. I'm going to just take a moment to talk about this, because this is a protocols to be followed during emergencies. I mean, every resident in this town should actually attend this or get information regarding how to prepare and how to recover from emergencies. They'll talk about having a go bag. So this is a bag that you should be able to grab and jump in your car with your family. Should have some food in it, should have some clothing, medical supplies. But these are all things you would learn at this Town of Somers Emergency Preparedness and Fire Safety presentation. And the Red Cross will be running that for us Saturday, January 19th from 10 a.m. and it's a couple hours. And then finally, St. Luke's Food Pantry, open every Friday, 2:30 to 4 p.m. Donations may be dropped off in their office lobby during office hours, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, or brought to the church on Sundays. St. Luke's Church is located at 331 Route 100. Okay, our next regularly scheduled meeting will be January 10th.
And if I could just chime in, next week's meeting, just for those watching now, we are going to have representatives from NYSEG here. One from the
Vegetation
the
management.
vegetation management, and one from, I guess, more like the operations line, telling you what has been done, what they're doing, what their plans are. Councilman Clinch and I have been serving on the NYSEG task force. I think it's been productive. I think, as you can see, the last couple of outages we've had, it has nothing to do with the weather. It's had to do with 2 cars hitting poles and knocking them down, which NYSEG really can't control. But it should be an informative meeting, so please just remember, put that on your calendars, because hopefully they'll answer some questions that you may have.
Yeah, I think that's a good point you make. It is to be informative of the things that NYSEG can do and can't do. What should you do if you see a tree that looks like it's putting some wires in jeopardy? What should you do? What's the number you should call? That's the information that they will bring. Obviously, any questions from the audience and from the town board, they will answer. They've been very cooperative over the course of how 3 or 4 meetings we've had?
Yeah.
3 or 4 meetings. And I think, as I mentioned one time, I thought at the beginning they were being defensive. And I think now we've established a good atmosphere that they want to improve, we want to improve. And so I think that it's working better now. Mr. Garrity's done a very good job, I think, leading those meetings. And it's a large group that we have of 12, 16 people or
Sometimes.
so that are there. Some very knowledgeable, some just bringing their concerns, homeowners bring concerns, others who've worked in this field, one with Con Ed and one with the state of New York. So it's been an interesting sort of experience that I've learned a lot from, and that's one of the reasons why we asked them to come to a town board meeting. The emphasis is on information, things that people would want to know, should know, that they're curious about. So we would encourage you to come so you can participate in that discussion.
Right, the meetings are open to the public.
Right?
There's a core utility task force that, and I do have to say that you gentlemen have done a very good job with keeping the task force populated and moving forward. I don't think there's any resident in this town can deny the fact that they've been seeing NYSEG and Nelson Tree Service trucks in our town, haven't left for the last 6 months.
Well, Rick, it was funny, yesterday, right when school was letting out, a car hit a pole right on 202 between Brick Hill and Lovell, and it was just funny. I saw this through social media, and probably within 45 minutes, I saw somebody make a comment, "Yay, I just saw a NYSEG truck going with a pole." So that's how quickly they were able to react, whereas in the past, it might have taken longer. I don't know how long the power was out, I forgot to check, but at least they were reactive to it quickly, and we're working on it. So, and
Yeah.
again, those were the last 2 power outages that we've had were
Related,
trucks
right.
totally taking out poles. So that's,
One of the advantages we've had, and the supervisor deserves credit for this, is that as they have had, they have to have some place to keep these trucks. And so the former IBM property is a place that correct me if I'm wrong now, supervisor has arranged for them to keep those trucks there, so actually they are in our town. So they got to keep them someplace. We found a place for them. Supervisor found a place for them. Obviously, that benefits Somers in terms of response time, as Mr. Garrity says. And so that's worked out pretty well. It won't work out that way forever, but at least right now it's working out pretty
Right,
well.
so the bulk of those trucks that are there are doing utility upgrades.
Right.
So they're putting what we call reclosers onto poles, and I think by now, you guys will probably tell me better than I know, we're supposed to be getting about 19 or 20 of these reclosers
19.
spread throughout the town. And basically what those things do is when you see your lights flicker, that's a recloser, making sure you don't lose power. It's rerouting electricity.
Right.
So instead of having 1,000 people out, you could have only 500. So, we're thankful. I had a conversation with Carl Taylor the other day. He's the CEO of NYSEG. And, he was thanking me for the fact that Somers is, although we've complained formally to the Public Service Commission about him, he'd be the first to tell you that they could do better. And our conversation really ended with they are committed to doing better, and they do have a commitment. And we've seen the commitment to our town. I can't speak for any other municipalities, but this utility task force really has kept Somers in their vision. We've had some of their top executives here over the course of these meetings. And I just want to once again thank you, gentlemen, for keeping the task force going. A lot of groups you put together, you have 1, 2 meetings and they kind of peter out, but this task force only seems to be getting stronger. So and I think it's to your credit.
Well, I haven't done much, but that's, usually what I'm good at. Is it? But it has been a pleasure.
No,
It has been interesting. But Mr. Taylor's comment, saying that they could do better, I think that's the important thing, is that NYSEG has acknowledged that what we all intuitively believe, like this can't be the best you can do in delivering electricity. NYSEG gets the franchise from the state of New York to be the sole provider of electricity to this area. You couldn't have 10 different providers providing lines and poles over the place. That'd be inefficient and silly. But so you get basically a regulated monopoly if you're a NYSEG. But then your responsibility in that monopoly right that you have is to make sure you deliver it. And we all intuitively say you've got to be able to do better. And originally, I did not think that they were acknowledging that. None of us is an expert on electricity, but you don't have to be an expert to figure out last year wasn't very good. And so I think Mr. Taylor's comment, and then over the course of time, the people who've been coming with us, their acceptance of we can do better, we will do better, here's what we're doing better. So that's why I say it's been working out pretty well.
Yeah, well, at that first, we convened a special meeting because the whole board was able to be at that meeting with the NYSEG representatives. And I when I got this task force together, I don't know if you remember, but I told you the people from NYSEG that we're inviting are not the people
Right.
we take our ire out on.
Right.
These are the people with boots on the ground. I mean, Sam Miller, their arborist, you know, he's the guy that goes out there and directs.
And he'll be
which
here
trees-
next week, right?
Yeah, so, yeah, well, tune in next week, come in and listen to NICEAG, give us an update.
To that end, I think we were fighting for resources to allocate to the town. I think you guys have been extremely successful in doing so.
Okay, great. Any other concerns, issues? Happy New Year, everyone. We're off to a good start. Okay,
right,
I'll make a
good stuff.
motion to close the meeting.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So moved. Good night, Somers.